Hi, my name is Hannah Smolich, and this is the Started in Stanford podcast. I interview the entrepreneurs of Stanford to figure out what they do and why. Today we have Breno with us of Winfield Street Coffee. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So first, what's your business? What do you do?
We have a small chain of coffee shops, locations in Stanford, Westport, and Croton, New York. We have planned openings in Rye in New York City for the end of the year.
That's great. So why'd you decide to start this business?
My first coffee job was actually in Stanford downtown in '09. It was a local Java shop. That's how they called it back then. Um, Long gone. And then after that job, I worked in restaurants for many years. I worked for like some big chains. I owned and operated my own fine dining place as well, a farm to table place.
Yep.
And then I realized like that I kind of crave that like personal, no BS, like connection with like that smaller establishments get to have like on a daily basis with their customers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing with fine dining and like I think the restaurant industry in general is that there's a whole ritual, right? It comes with like a little theatrical performance, and it's kind of expected of everybody working. And I think it makes sense because in fine dining you're paying like on average about $100 a person.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't for me. I just didn't want to put on the show every night. Also, like it's very demanding. When I owned my restaurant, I was basically in at 8 in the morning, even though we only open at 4 p.m. And I left it, way past 1 a.m. So like I set out to like create a more low key concept where I could wear sweatpants for work
Yeah.
and kind of be able to express myself without much judgment. Um, the way that I do here, and actually I encourage like all my staff to do is like, we love creating new food items. We love creating new coffee items. We love partnering with vendors, like amazing vendors like Counterculture Coffee, local bakers, but really be a little more free to express ourselves. I'm very high on entrepreneurship, so I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely seeing, that concept a little more nowadays than ever. Um, just kind of relaxing, low-key places. I mean, as a student in Stanford, those are the best places to go for us because, we could work, we could talk, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's great. And just wondering, why did you want to be in Stanford?
So Stanford is a really interesting city, right? We're so close to New York City. We have such a variety of people living here, right? There's a ton of families. There's a ton of old school Irish, Italian people, and there's a ton of young professionals. And then you add like UConn to the middle of this, and it's really like a crazy melting pot. And like I wanted to be in a place like this, right, where we could be like a vessel to integrate the community. The way that we do that here in Stanford is providing the space that's centrally located. I mean, we're literally 2 blocks away from UConn. We have some of the U.S. major companies' headquarters a few blocks away, and the city government is also 3 blocks away. So like when you have a hub, for all these minds to kind of meet over coffee and lunch and exchange ideas, I mean, some of the best ideas might come over a coffee or lunch break, I see it's really nice because I was looking at your website and everybody that you interviewed so far is my regular.
Yeah.
So it's really encouraging, like to recognize that the regulars here. It gives me like confidence that we are providing a creative and even inspiring space for like, bright minds to meet and do business.
Yeah.
It's very common for me to see like, people having a meeting at one of the booths and then another, CEO or an engineer out of the company come and sit down and just, do an impromptu meeting that who knows what can come out of it. So I like to be that kind of hub. I feel really realized.
Yeah, that's
Very,
great because you have, I mean, you have students, you have business people. I mean,
mm,
really just everyone in the area because you're in like a perfect downtown spot.
right, yeah. When we were looking for a Stanford location, I've been a Stanford resident for maybe 15 years.
Hmm.
Um, we knew that this was the spot. Like, not only is centrally located, but it's attached to like a great public library, the Ferguson Library.
Yep.
They do a tremendous job of also integrating the community. They provide essential services and resources.
Hmm.
They're really not just books. If you've been to the library, you know, like they do expert business advice. They have an entrepreneur in residence program, which I mean, they have really bright minds where you can get an appointment at any time, go there, and like literally, like they'll coach you through opening your business.
Yep.
I tell that to everybody because I feel like that's such a resource. You know, I wish I had known of things like that when I first opened. But they
Yeah.
do, you know, they do development classes. Obviously, they have internet connection for people who don't have internet. They have mommy and me classes. They do so much, and you know, opening in Stanford, I knew like we needed a partner. We need to be attached to like a place like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect spot, really. And Stanford is always growing, always innovating. New businesses, I mean, I feel like are popping up all the time. Um, so you definitely have an amazing opportunity to just have all of these amazing entrepreneurs and business people or students and to work
Right.
in your space, which is, I mean, relaxing, great food. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I always tell my customers like make this space like we pay the rent here, but the space is the communities. Like, you know,
Yep.
if they like to share this, the like get the room like to put on events, share their products or market their products, give classes, do fundraisers. I mean, like we've been here for only a few months, but we've seen a lot of cool things. Um, Dimitris, who you interviewed before, like he's put some really cool events over here, brought a lot of people. I have an amazing customer. She is a teacher. Her name is Dana LaRose, and she just makes this like crazy things for us. Like I have here like this Tic Tac cappuccino. Like she would make like this crafted little mugs. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see
cute.
it,
Yeah.
like for Tic Tac and like puzzles and tattoos. And I mean, like I feel really accomplished when I like stuff like that happens. Like, you know, it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Would you say that like your openness to the community and making your space a community space is your main way of innovating the food industry?
I would say so. Yeah, like our polished mission, right? That,
Hmm.
you know, going to college. I graduated from UConn Stanford as well, business administration. So, you know, they always hammered, you know, like you start with your mission, you start with your plan. And I felt like a loser for years because I'm like, I still don't have a mission after, you know, like 3, 4 years.
Hmm.
But it really takes that long for you to realize what it is that you do best.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you were to read our website, like our polished mission is Winfield Street Coffee was created to be a community gathering coffee place where guests can find a warm smile, excellent coffee, and creative food. And it's pretty simple, but there's like, you know, the order is very important to me. Like we take coffee and food, like we take it very seriously, right? Our staff goes to classes in the city. Like
Yep.
we have certifications. We actually study and measure everything, coffee and food alike. But I put on the mission, I put warm smile first before coffee, before food, to always remind myself and remind my staff that, yeah, it's great to be good at your craft, but customer service is why we're open, you know?
Yeah, of course.
That's really, yeah, that's I think it's where we differentiate ourselves.
Yeah. So what about times of COVID-19? How have you guys adapted to that or changed?
I've been through a lot of emotions. It's been crazy. I mean, from one week to the next, like we realized our sales were down 50%, and we're like, oh, this is actually gonna affect us. And we made the quick decision, instead of dragging it out, we made
Hmm.
the quick decision to close. Say like, okay, this is actually serious. There's no point like making everybody suffer and be uncertain and anxious. My staff
Yeah.
being anxious with everything. I said like, we're closing because people who make decisions quicker and faster than everybody else are better positioned to like adapt. So I said, I don't know exactly what's going on, but we're gonna we're gonna close now. You guys gonna uh, get on unemployment. I'm gonna help you file for unemployment right away until we figure it out. And I'm just gonna take the time, instead of being in the shop and like being anxious and having to spend the energy working. I'm gonna look and just research on how to get through this. So
Good.
that allowed me to jump the line. Like, I mean, be in the front for like the PPP loan, the emergency grant, being able to now pay my guys, a lot of them that didn't qualify for unemployment for one reason or another. And we're in a much better position. So yeah, first I was freaking out, but now I know for a fact that we are going to survive, and not only survive, we're actually going to help the community. Like we took this 9 weeks that we're closed, and we reshaped our mission. Now being a nice coffee shop and making your customers smile is not enough anymore. Like, how can we leverage our food and our space to like do more, right? So we decided that for every check that comes in any of our stores that's $20 or more, we're going to donate a meal.
Oh, that's
And
great.
yeah, and our plan is to donate 10,000 meals by the end of the year. It's all for the community right here, and it's an ambitious goal, but I think my team can pull it off. We the real disaster is not right now. It's really not the hospitals right now. The real disaster is going to come later in the year, because out of the 42 million jobs that people lost, they estimate that half of those are not going to come back. And
Wow.
unemployment rate is going to be really high, and a lot of people are going to like need like they're going to have basic needs like food. And I think that you know, knowing that we're going to survive, I think we have a responsibility that to make sure that we help, and whatever we can do, we can be a space for people like we are, and we can also provide food for people. And
Of
I
course.
guess, what we asking, we're reaching out to customers is like, in order for us to be able to help, we're just asking them to, uh, add $1 or $2 to their check so that we can donate those foods. We also reaching out to catering customers, the big companies around here. Maybe they
Yeah,
can match donations.
that's great. I mean, it's great to hear that you're helping out the community, and um, it sounds like you made a great decision for you and your business. So, I mean, I hope everything goes well after COVID, and your business and other businesses are able to still do really well, and that the economy is kicks up again eventually, but it will eventually.
Well,
Yep.
for
Well, thank you
sure.
so much for joining the podcast. We really appreciate it. Can you tell everyone just where to find you, your website?
Sure. Winfieldcoffee.com. That's WINFIELD coffee.com. Or on Instagram, we post when we're open, when we open the patio tomorrow. So at Winfield Street Coffee on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you.